Okay guys, Crier here for the US Open. We are finally here, and here's the skies I'm looking at the moment from my place. I was just about to walk out the door, head over to qualifying, and it started raining again, and now it's calling for rain in the forecast for the next couple of hours, so I'm going to do a little preview or a little review of the first round of qualifying first before I make it over. Okay, so here we have the qualifying draw. They are actually having rain not only in Flushing right now, they're also having rain in New Haven, Connecticut. Today was going to be a day where I'd be able to see the ball a little better because the ball has been flying, and it may be that it is a little livelier this year. It's still a big ball and fuzzier. It's been getting progressively larger and a little more felt over the last couple of years, and it's still the same way this year, but it looked lively to me. Now, that would mean it would be a little heavier rubber as well, because there's no way they can have it too quick with the racket technology. But it very well could have just been the hot weather and somewhat dry. In the area I'm in, which isn't too far from Billie Jean King Center, it was like 35% humidity. It's pretty low for here in the summertime in New York. Anyways, so yeah, it was fast conditions, so it's tough to tell if that's really from the ball or the conditions yet. Today would be a much better test, and so I'm looking forward to seeing that, hopefully some tennis. Here we have in the first number one seed, Delbonis, more of a clay courter. He can play hard, but Kukishkin, injury man, but he likes a hard court, he likes quick hard court outdoor. So it's not too much of a surprise. Schwank's been having a little bit of a comeback, a slight comeback lately, doing pretty well, but again, more clay with the faster hard court conditions, basic, excuse me if I'm not saying that right. It's not a big surprise. Maria, I watched him in qualifying last year, was actually standing right behind his coaches. Really a great fighter, just a fun kid to watch from Japan. Growth, Sam Growth, huge serve, big Australian, should have liked the conditions, but you're going to get a nice bounce too off this Deco turf and with that ball, and looks like Maria just outfought him, which isn't too surprising. Jesse Levine is really good when it's quick or any kind of indoors. He likes a low bounce. He has some good trickery, aggression. But Teixeira has a nice serve, and so that might have helped him there. You can see that was another tough one. Levine's body has had some body issues this year, so maybe that came into play a bit as well. Karlovic, he's back. He did great at Newport, did great at Bogota, Colombia, really fast conditions. The other one was a grass court. So, yeah, fast conditions are going to suit him, beat the American kid. What else do we have? A little bit of an upset there with Bagnan. I mean, Pashansky should like these conditions, but I mean, whatever. Pashansky's, that's not much to say on that one. Going down the list here, Golubev is starting to have a little bit of a comeback. That's good. He likes things a little quick sometimes. Huda Galang has actually been doing pretty well, and that's why he's seated all the way up number 3. That's a big upset to me, but I know Huda Galang does play a lot of clay mainly. I guess I have to accept the fact that he's a clay courter, and yeah, fast clay courts, but clay courter nonetheless. And Sarah has a little bit more variety to move around. But seeing that 6-love score line at the end of 3 sets makes me think something happened to Huda Galang. He's been playing a lot of good tennis, but a lot of tennis, and I wouldn't be surprised if he pulled up lame. Fischer, yes, a little bit fast conditions definitely suit him. He always has a little bit of faux pas at some point during the matches, so that's not surprising he lost a set, but that's a good win for him. Uwana, I watched him real close in the qualifying last year. I sat by his parents, actually. He's got so many body problems this year again. He had a decent year last year, but not this year. And Diwu, he likes the hard courts from China. He's a fighter, and I think he just fought an out of form and possibly physically unfit Uwana. That's a shame, though. Uwana would have liked these conditions. Martin from Slovak, tough one with Guez. Both of these Guez, or I'm sorry for the pronunciations. Not surprising, this was a tough one. Both of these guys can deal with it a little quick. They can do clay, a little bit of hard. That was a fight. That was a battle. Looks like Martin had more in the tank. What do we have? Kunitsin. Yes, Kunitsin's Mr. Injury Bug, kind of like the other Russian up here, Kukishkin. Anyways, but nice win for Kunitsin. He hasn't been around. Alun from Argentina, again, clay court, so not too surprising. Petchner, again, likes it quick, so he got through, but we don't know when. He's a walking time bomb as far as injuries go. Donaldson, I'm trying to learn a little bit about this kid. He's only 16. I think he's from Texas, was what I read. So I've got to check on him. A great victory over Dustov. He made a comeback. I think it was on court 17, if I'm correct, but wherever it was, it might have not been 17, but whatever. People were going crazy from what I heard. So for the young American kid, so can't wait to see some of him. Marchenko, retirement from Korolev, what's new? Arnabaldi, a little bit of an upset. Novikov has a big serve, the USA kid. Fast conditions, it looks like a tough one, but Novikov or whatever, again, I saw the end of that. He looked like he was moving not too well, and he always has body issues. Dutra Silva, got a retirement, speaking of body issues, from Loja. Let's skip down. What do we got? Deverman's having a really good comeback this year. Ginepri always pops up at this time of year. Let's see, Bockinger, yes, fast conditions. James Ward, this guy, Jonathan Esseric from France, can play fast conditions and sometimes even hard courts, but and even indoor. But James Ward's been having a really good year on the Challenger circuit, so not surprising. Reister's having a little bit of comeback this year and did a good job there. Jameer Jenkins, a young USA kid, I forget what college he's at. Is it Michigan? But another college kid coming up, and he's got some ability. A good athlete, needs a little more power, but he can get it because he has good technique. So he beat Jürgen Meltzer's younger brother. That looks like a good one. Vieck, he's not the same as he used to be, and Fabiano, the veteran, took care of him. Normally, I think Vieck could have won that. Varev, yes, faster conditions helped him. Ignatic likes it maybe not too fast, so maybe that helped Varev a bit. It was a close one. It was a tough one. That's probably going to poop Varev out for the rest of the tournament. Jaquel, a tough one, and he also can do a little bit faster stuff, so that's not surprising. Alves isn't bad either, though, even on a hard court, so that was a tough one. But Donald Young, that's a nice win over Barton. Barton can play on hard courts. He's a good up-and-comer. But obviously the 6-love scoreline, again, wondering if something went wrong physically, possibly mentally there. But good win for Donald Young. We want to really see him get in the main draw here. What do we got? Oh, my man from the Dominican Republic, Estrella. He's added something to his name there at the end. Anyway, he's starting a mini comeback here. He's been playing a little better of late, so that's nice to see. Actually, fast conditions, he can do the hard courts and a little bit for speed. I was just in the Dominican Republic. I'll have a video on that. And the conditions down there can get pretty quick, actually, especially with the heat. Carol Beck's really good at fast conditions, so that had to be a real good match. 7-5, 6-3, that had to be tough. That might have had something to do physically with Beck, whatever, but I'm not sure. Jimmy Wang, I saw him in a barn burner last year in the qualifying, and yeah, he got through. That's good for him. In the bottom half of the draw, Souza, who's a clay courter but a big guy, a big Brazilian who can hit a big serve, got by Otham, Belgium, in a tough one. 7-5 in the third. The speedy conditions, the hot conditions, probably helped him on serve. Crier, the junior Australian boy who just came up from the juniors, who's just been fabulous, even on the pro circuit so far. He took care of his fellow Australian, Greg Jones. And Greg Jones is actually having a pretty good year, but just shows you how far Krigios has come. He's a hard courter. He can play hard courts no problem, so I'm thinking he's probably going to have Souza. Jaziri, who likes a little quickness in the court, usually is out of shape though, but enough quickness he was able to get by Steve. And the same thing for Roches. He likes a little bit of quickness, a little guy who likes to take it early and move it around. And Fusovics is more or less likes to stay in Hungary and Turkey and all those areas, and I don't think he's a real fan of coming over to the U.S. Dancevic has been having a great challenger season, and though I love Gabashvili, he's great to watch on court, always a lot of drama, and then off the court he's a real nice guy, and I've got to meet him briefly last year's qualifying. He's a really good guy, and he fought hard and got through qualifying last year, but not this year. Dancevic's just been in too good a form. And then we have some more. Let's just skip down here. Another Japanese, but this one lost, Sugita, which is surprising because a little quicker conditions, a deco turf in America, they like these conditions. They can play a lot of fast defense. And Sueda, as we go down the list, he won. The other Ito won, and another Japanese, I think, won also. Anyway, Sugita did not get through. Rocher from France, can do indoors, and he can handle a hard court, but I'm still surprised that Sugita wasn't able to pull that out. Odesnik can play pretty quick, but so can Shudanelli. But Odesnik likes the outdoors even better. I think Shudanelli, he can play outdoors, but I would go for Odesnik a little bit here in America, and he came through. DeVos also likes a little quicker. Fratangelo, he's actually from around my area, in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area. And he's done well in the future circuit, but hasn't quite translated to the higher levels. Plus, he's better probably at clay, like a fast clay or a hard true in America that they use. Anyway, so DeVos got through there. Sandgren, again, a really good player, really talented. He played at Tennessee, University of Tennessee. Tennis Sandgren, he's too passive. He can volley, he can do aggressive things, but he just doesn't do it enough. And on a hot day with balls moving, Gojowicz is definitely going to have an advantage, a bigger serve, forehands, and he took care of the business, it looks like. Heinrich and Kopel, that's a really good matchup on a little bit quicker playing outdoor hard court. And I'm not surprised it was a close one. But Heinrich, who's been in good form, comes out. Dadamo is a guy who got the wild card from the playoffs. They have national playoffs they started 4 years ago. Well, this is the fourth year of it. Blake Strode won twice for the men. A girl named Mueller in the United States, women, has won twice. None of the women who have won have ever gotten past the first round of qualifying. If you win these playoffs, you get a wild card into the qualifying. The men, Blake Strode got to the second round twice, but nobody's made it to the final round. Well, anyways, Dadamo didn't even get by the first round, so he's out. Just needs a little more experience. He's more of a futures guy, to be honest. Messier, an old vet, got through, and there's Sueda. He got through. A guy who's been playing a lot better, Austin Krajicek, another college American kid. He's doing better. Has a nice all-around game and a left-hander, but just not good enough on the big points, as you can see. 6'4", 7'6". Then we have. What do we have? Kavchek. You would think that this would have been a closer match with Ilan, but if you look closer, first of all, Ilan's hasn't nearly fulfilled the potential many saw for him back a few years ago. Plus his body, his mind, he seems weak at times, and honestly, he doesn't hit with the same power anymore, and he doesn't even like to leave his home area around Turkey. He plays a lot of Turkey futures, does well in future events, usually wins them, does okay in the challengers now, and really just probably didn't want to be flying out here to America to do this. So, really wasn't a surprise after all. Anyway, Polanski, he can play these hard courts well, but Daniel Evans has been on fire in the challenger circuit. He and his fellow Brit, which we'll see in a moment, have been on fire. Bobby Reynolds, this was all Bobby Reynolds to lose, and he lost it. He won the first set, but he looked tired from the start, looked exhausted at the end, and just didn't have enough in the tank. He's played a lot of good tennis this year, actually, but he's too old. I mean, he's older, and with all the tennis, it finally caught him. And Chipola got through just by being smart. Ebden, have no idea why he would lose on a quicker playing conditions outdoor hard court. I'm surprised, though, this Ukrainian guy does have a pretty big serve, if I'm correct. Maybe that's what did it. Maybe Ebden's body, he has the smallest body that wears out, so that could be it. Reintraub got through, that's good, the Israelite. What else? Viola's more of a clay quarter, he lost. Alex Kuznetsov from the America, he's been doing better again on the Challenger circuit. Won Binghamton a couple of weeks ago. He's really good on the hard courts, so that's not a surprise. Jan Myrtle of Czech Not a surprise he's good on these hard courts. Bemelman's losing is sort of a surprise, but he's been up and down all year, and Molchanov has kind of a big serve, and a little faster might have helped him. Robert likes a little bit faster, so he got through. And the big one here I want to jump down is Lajovic and Olivetti. If there was one match I would have really liked to have seen live this day, it would have been Lajovic and Olivetti. Lajovic's had a great year. He does a little bit better on clay, more of a clay quarter type, fast clay court from Serbia. But he's having a really big year. Olivetti is a huge serving, big French giant who could really join the ranks of Raonic and Isner, but he needs a lot of improvement yet. And every time he starts to get improvement, he gets hurt. But he was hurt again early this year, but he was back, did really well at the Riccanati Challenger event in Italy on a hard court where it was pretty quick in the mountains. He got to the final but lost again. So I think he's ready and he's due, and I really want to see him get in this main draw. So I knew that would be a tough one. Lajovic, that was an unlucky draw. And you see he lost the first set, but he got used to the conditions. Lajovic's a faster starter, and Olivetti was able to get a hold of him, probably started hammering down big serves on this in the heat on the Deco turf. Going to be back here with the women. Okay, right off the bat in the women's qualifying, we have a big upset. But I don't know how big it is. I mean, Crier actually won a challenger event, that they have these new challengers on the WTA circuit, but mostly they're just ways to get Chinese tennis involved. They're all in China, almost all of them. And Crier won that, but it was a weak draw. She had such body problems in recent years that her new style is just to go for it, basically, be really aggressive, because she can't fight those long points anymore. And so she's either on or off, and that's a tough way to go. And Pervac is also coming back from injury, but she's going to fight. And Crier probably, the speed of there was the speed this week, the heat early this week. Maybe Crier was hitting them out, wasn't controlling the balls that well. Also moving to a new ball. I mean, the women, well, Crier plays a lot of other areas. She wasn't even in America, so she's not even using anything close to the Wilson ball. But even the women over here in the U.S. Open Series have been using Penn Championship. That's an amateur ball, actually. That's a lighter ball for amateur play. All the professional balls have been getting heavier and a little slower over the years to combat the racket technology. So the women are suddenly leaving the Penn Championship ball, which is flying on them, and now they have this heavier ball, which is different, but it has this, but it's a little harder too, so it can jump. So it's a weird combination. It's something to get used to, and that could have really messed up Crier. If you're being over-aggressive, that can mess you up, in my opinion. Okay, so Pervac, the big upset, number 1 seed out, Crier out, having a real bad couple of years. I think she was in the round of 16 a couple of years ago at the U.S. Open, so really wild stuff. Delacqua got through. That's nice. Fishman, she can play a little quicker. That's in hard courts. Parmentier, she likes faster clay courts. This was a hard court. Looks like she got her bearings after losing the tough first set. Looks like Jones from Australia had a little struggle there after that. The heat maybe got to her. Lakova, or however you say that. I like this girl. I like her game, but she's always injured. But she has been a little better lately, so that's nice. Had a good French Open, Wimbledon as well, I think. But anyways, good stuff by her. Pazic's had a rough couple of years with injuries, but now she has to qualify. Unbelievable. Don't even know this Chinese girl who's number 19, and I don't know who the girl who beat her, so we'll be skipping that. Vicky Duval, love her. She beat the Brazilian girl who really is a clay courter, but has been having a really big year for her. Piera, or however you say that. But this is a hard court, and I'm really glad to see Vicky. I'd love to see Vicky Duval get into the main draw. Let's jump down some more here. Now, don't laugh at me. I always get this name, Buikalki, or whatever you say, Buikaki. Let's call her Cake. Anyways, I've liked her game. I used to watch her back in the day, and I've really got to get these names, these pronunciations right. But anyways, nice to see her back. She's had a lot of physical problems. Coco, she looked like she was coming up last year, and then went to the final of Stanford, lost to Serena, and then, started to go out of the picture again. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's physical issues with her big body. But she's a real talent. Big body, but very athletic. Can take the ball early, great hand-eye coordination. And court's playing a little faster, just going to help her. She looked good. What else? Upset there with Chang. But Rampra likes a faster court a little bit, so that's good. Strakova, a lot of issues, got caught for some doping as far as I know. I think that's out in the open now. I don't know if she's struggling with the body. I mean, normally she should be able to win that, but Madison Brengle does like the USA hard courts. Don't know this Chinese girl. I got to get caught up on these women. Nara, like I like to call them, my Japanese fireflies. Nara and Doi, very short, but have great games. Take the ball extremely early, just slap at it, and can really get on top of you. If it's fast conditions, that helps them big time. What else? Oh, Patricia Mayer, she got through. Good for her. Okay, and let's move on down. Get to the bottom half. In the U.S. Open, we have a lot of qualifiers, more than the other ones, so it's a full page here. Another upset here by Chan. I know she's been doing pretty well, and I don't know much about the Ukrainian above on that, but she beat her. That's good for me anyway, because I know her. All right, Dushavina, she's making a comeback. A lot of physical problems, but that's good for her. Lucic, you know, she's very old. She made it to the Wimbledon quarterfinals back in 1999, was out of it, came back, made a big comeback a couple years ago. Just older age, it's a big problem there, but, you know, always rooting for her. She's got some power in her game. Karen Tencheva, she got nailed for doping a few years ago, and since she's been back, it's never been the same. I root for her, though. I like her game a little bit, but she just has to fight. Kudratseva started to come up a couple years ago, but has been really bad lately. Taylor Townsend, love this girl. I want to see her physically get in the best fitness possible, because her talent, in my opinion, is off the charts. You listen to her talk about tennis, incredibly smart. I just love this girl, and I just hope that the fitness issue, it doesn't become an issue. And I'm rooting for her 100%. Love her game. Want to see her live. Can't wait to see her live. She goes up against Samantha Murray next. Brachikova, that's expected, that win. De Brito had a great Wimbledon. All the screaming and yelling, love it. Rooting for her all the time. Udan. Udan's always a physical issue with her. She's big, she's small, she looks really strong, she looks overweight, she comes back, she looks in good shape, but she seems weak. I mean, it's just all over the charts. And she has game, we know that, but it's a physical issue with her all the time, and I don't know, I didn't see any of that live, so I don't know what she's looking like. I haven't seen her recently. Okay, Radionova's through. And by the way, Batalchik can handle these hard courts. She likes grass too. So, okay, Glushko got through. Dubois, she likes a little quick. Beat old lady Cameron, who's a lot younger than me, but I'm calling her old for tennis. She could slap me if she sees me personally. All right, a little bit of an upset here. I like the Kum girl. I know I'm not saying that right. But from Thailand, she's a fighter. She likes hard courts. I'm a little surprised, but Faretz Gasson can play some hard court too. I know that. But I'm still a little surprised by that. Maybe Kum has played a lot of tennis over the last year. I'm wondering if she's been having some fitness issues. Anyway, Tomjanovic looked great. Had a good Midland, the top ITF tournament in Michigan in February. She had a great tournament there. Doing some things on the ITF circuit. Has some power. Would like it a little faster. And I love the Pliskovas. Christina, got to see a lot of her live last year. And this Chirico girl, that's a great matchup. Chirico is from America, but she's Mexican descent, and she can take it quick. She's just coming up out of juniors. Lack of experience would be the problem there, maybe. But that's the one to see. And Gorgie. I always liked this girl, but she hasn't kind of panned out as we thought she might earlier in the year in her career. But she got through. She likes it quicker. She's a really aggressive player. And Cohen. That's not too much of an upset to me, because I know how she likes these American hard courts. She's a fighter. She likes a little quickness. She can win in the heat. And I'll be rooting for her all the way. She's from Philadelphia, PA, originally. Okay, only girl I'm missing here is Pliskova's sister, and I'm a little concerned, unless maybe Carolina got in the main draw. So that could be what it is. So let me just take one last quick look through. You know what? Don't want to waste everybody's time here. Can't see it, so I'm assuming Pliskova hopefully is in the main draw here, the Carolina. Okay, so that's a wrap. Do we have any second rounds that complete? For the men, Robert is through to the final, qualifying final. He completed his match. Looks like nothing else got completed yet. Everything's in a rain delay. Jameer Jenkins in the men's side is having a barn burner in his second round. I forget who with. But anyways, okay, so we'll be back hopefully live from the U.S. Open, and if not live, definitely live tomorrow for the finals.